about you're going to a preschool. Those kids can't come in, but yours expendable. They'll fold you in somewhere. Sometimes they're calling it transition. But if you have come back from here and you've talked to people who are doing similar things, giving you good ideas, making you feel proud and valuable, and you go to your supervisor and say, I heard some good ideas and I think we can do them. You may have to adapt them. They're not always going to be exactly the same. Don't say, if it's okay, or if there's enough budget, maybe we can do this. No. You say, I've got some really good ideas. How can we make this work? Value yourself. Value yourself. And if you say, and all I have to do is call Mary Ann. I've got the connection. I can get the information. I can find out how to do it. Use the people you've met. Use the people you've met. I'm going to read you a letter. In the Kansas City area, I'm in Lawrence, Kansas, as I said. There's a group, and I encourage you to do this. If there's not one already, get an outreach interest group going. People in your area, you know, and when I talk about an area, depending on where you live, it could be like a 150-mile radius. Small libraries. All of you who are doing something similar. And when they say, we don't do outreach services because we don't have a bookmobile. Do you have homebound? You have preschool? You do story times? What else do you do? Don't let it say just because you don't have a bookmobile, because you all know you're doing outreach services. Get a group so that maybe once, twice, 3 times, maybe even 4 times a year, you get together and you share ideas. That's the valuable part, and as I said, the strength of ABOS is because you can exchange ideas. You can have the challenges, saying, we had a problem with this program, anybody done something similar to this, how did you solve it? And not only that, there is nothing like sitting over a Pepsi Cola going, I am so frustrated. And you can vent to someone who knows exactly what you're talking about. You go to your own state and it's like everybody, every department, and you say, when I first started coming to ABOS, it was known as the TDG, that damn generator. They'd be sitting around the table talking about TDGs, and I'm going, I have no idea what these people are talking about. And it was the generators. And they would go, or they'd say not only about the generators, as the difficulty of getting it fixed because their managers were saying we don't have the money to fix it. You know, venting is good because it gets it out of your system, and somebody else is sympathetic and says, poor, poor thing, I know exactly what you're talking about. And it makes you feel better. That's also the strength. But in Kansas City, again, I'm going to really say for y'all, get it going. Get a group together. If you don't have one now, organize one. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. But in Kansas City, we do have a group. We call it the Summiteers, the Metro group. And we get together 4 times a year. And they also have a group in Kansas City where they have workshops. And they had one on outreach. And I was asked to just do a few words, and we talked. And about 2 weeks after that, I got a letter from one of the people who had organized it and said, we have an outreach position in an area that I'm going to apply for. I've made the first cut. Can you tell me anything I might use in the interview? And the question they were asking all of these that they were asking back for the second time is, why should we do outreach? We may not even fill this position unless someone convinces us it's worthwhile. Here's what I responded to her. Good morning, Linda. The crass, obvious answer is because they pay for it, just like everyone else in the city does, but we won't go down that road, will we? Just as we use bank branches and grocery stores, remote ATMs, convenience stores, and city utility treasurer offices that are in every strip mall, other people need to have library services where they actually live and work and where it's convenient for them. If they're unable to come to the main library due to limited mobility, limited time, limited opportunity, why should the library not consider making it convenient for those patrons? We do not hesitate to make online services for 24/7 access to the library. In fact, we continue to increase these services, but we hesitate to actually make contact with our patrons for providing services for those who cannot afford online services. Is the cost for additional online services or technology upgrades much more per year than for staff to go out to a retirement community or a preschool with already purchased materials? An informed population is more active in their neighborhoods and community. An informed and educated population is healthier and more socially adept. Of course, I don't have the statistics to back these comments up, but statistics are not needed to say that providing instructional, educational, and even entertainment materials in a community makes the community better informed on the world around them, which makes them more comfortable in their jobs and assists them in making informed decisions on daily living situations. We brag that libraries broaden the minds of those who use them. By not providing materials to those who cannot come to us, we have narrowed those whom we think should have the information by saying coming to us is the only way they get to use these materials. We cannot take everything out on the library, true, but we can provide some services to those who cannot come to us, which then relays that the library feels that they are important and deserve the access to the library in whatever manner we can. In many cases, people will come to the library if they feel that it's a welcoming place for all people, not just the educated, well-dressed, or a particular economic level. Those of us who work in a library know that we see and serve people of all walks of life. But for those who are hesitant or fearful to come, they do not know this and feel that it's not for them. Some cultures are hesitate to come to any governmental service, including libraries, because of previous experiences, but outreach services into that community can allay those fears. The basic question is, why do libraries feel that they cannot go out to provide instructional, educational, and entertainment materials to the community? What is it that libraries feel diminishes the library's image or services by extending out into the community? I once attended a talk by Will Manley, who was a librarian in Arizona, but also wrote for the Library Journal. He said that librarians too often have the opinion that if they open the doors to the library, people might actually want to take out the materials. And what would happen with that? Instead of the materials, I feel that the hesitancy of providing outreach into the community is similar. If we go out to the community with materials, people might actually use them. And what would happen then? If a bank only kept old banking hours, y'all remember banking hours? The latest ones you'd get would be 10 to 4 and no Saturday. 2 o'clock was usually the one. If a bank only kept the old banking hours or ATMs were not on every corner, how would those same library administrators who question the value or use budget or staff constraints and priority of services as a reason to discontinue or negate the service feel on a Saturday afternoon and they needed cash? Banking hours. What if banks said that they did not have the staff or budget to provide these services? And what if banks said that other services take priority? I'm going to ask you again. I named Melanie, I named Margie, I named Virginia as part of the advocacy committee. Now I ask you again, who's on our advocacy committee? Raise every one of your hands, because every one of you are an advocate for outreach services. Whether you're here, whether you're at your home, wherever you go, talk it up. Talk it up. Make sure they know about you. If you have any questions, see me afterwards. But thank you for coming, and go out and